And Joe, I never had a doubt. Joe had an operation on his shoulder. I just want you to know it wasn't because of anything we did. He's in great shape. And our whip, Mr. Clyburn, you're amazing. And I am reminded often by my staff, were not for you, your wife telling you to endorse me, I wouldn't be standing there. But thank you very, very much. And also,
Nancy Pelosi is now preparing a vote on Democrats' brand new stimulus checks. Bernie Sanders is also working with lawmakers to push for the renewal of a monthly stimulus check, everybody. So you want to be sure to continue watching to never miss out on the most important stimulus news. Today, President Biden signed a bipartisan bill that aims to strengthen U.S. competitiveness by investing billions of dollars in domestic semiconductor and science research. At the signing ceremony, Biden said today is a day for builders and today America is delivering. Now this bill, which is known as the CHIPS and Science Act, includes more than $52 billion for U.S. companies producing computer chips, as well as billions of dollars more in tax credits to encourage investment in semiconductor manufacturing. It also provides tens of billions of dollars to fund scientific research and development and to spur the innovation and development of other U.S. tech. However, Biden's approval rating has sunk in recent months as global inflation and supply chain issues take a toll on Americans, and especially their wallets at the grocery store and the gas station. Biden's unpopularity paired with a tough political map and other political headwinds has fueled concern among Democrats that they could suffer in the November midterm elections. But the latest polls show Democrats' chances of keeping the Senate have improved, and Biden on Monday predicted that the climate and tax bill's passage will immediately help in the midterms. And also, Nancy Pelosi said today that she will ask members of the House to pass without changes a $430 billion climate and prescription bill. When asked if she would ask lawmakers to pass the sweeping legislation, as is Pelosi said yes. Nancy Pelosi said, "Our members are very pleased. Quite a bit of what is in the bill is what we had worked on together." Pelosi added the bill's provisions on prescription were historic, and she welcomed its climate change initiatives. The U.S. Senate passed a $430 billion bill intended to fight climate change, lower prescription prices, and raise some corporate taxes in a major victory for President Biden that Democrats hope will help their chances of keeping control in the Senate this year. Now also the U.S. Senate passed, and after a marathon 27-hour weekend session of debate and Republicans' effort to derail the package, the Senate has also approved the Inflation Reduction Act by 51-50 vote. The action sends the measure to the House of Representatives for a vote, likely on Friday when representatives plan to reconvene. They are expected to pass it, which would send the bill to the White House for Biden's signature. In a statement, Biden said he looked forward to signing the bill into law. Bernie Sanders tried to amend the bill to include an extension of the monthly child allowance that Democrats enacted on a temporary basis last year. Sanders also told his colleagues the United States has the child poverty rate of almost any major country on earth.
To work 80 hours a week or 2 full-time jobs to afford a one-bedroom house. However, the data is actually even worse than that because affordable housing availability impacts other parts of a family's budget. For example, affordable housing is increasingly located in areas that are far away from job centers, forcing workers to pay higher transportation costs. Given this, how important is it that we build more affordable housing near public transit so that we can connect people to good-paying jobs and careers and opportunities?
Thank you for the question, Senator Menendez. It is important that Congress not only invest in more deeply affordable homes for the lowest income people, but also to ensure that low-income, extremely low-income people and people of color can live near transportation and the opportunities that that presents for them. We also have to be careful when we work on transit-oriented development to ensure that it doesn't create displacement or gentrification. And the affordable housing component of TOD is the best way to do that, to ensure that we are preserving existing affordable housing in neighborhoods connected to transportation and building more so that the lowest income people aren't displaced if new development comes near those transit stations.
Thank you. That's why I led the charge of my Livable Communities Act, which creates a federal grant program to incentivize the development of new affordable housing near existing mass transit. We hope to see some of that happen. By the way, my preface to the question is you don't dispute any of what I said in terms of the realities of where it is for rental income in terms of people's challenge to meet that.
Absolutely. Rents are far out of reach certainly for minimum wage workers, other low wage workers, for seniors, people with disabilities on extremely limited fixed incomes. But we also find that rents are far out of reach even for the average renter, who often earns about $5 to $6 less an hour than what rent costs in their communities. So a big part of the housing crisis that we are facing today.
I spent a week in quarantine and fortunately experienced only mild symptoms. I think that's because I was fully vaccinated and boosted, and I was glad to have the help of modern science on my side. Well, there's never a good time to be away from our work here in the Senate, but we all have a responsibility to keep those around us safe as well, no matter how inconvenient. Unfortunately, there are reports that our friends across the aisle.
Senate Democrats are walking on eggshells around Kirsten Sinema. They are crossing their fingers that she will agree to support a sweeping tax reform and climate bill, and the Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer and Manchin announced this weekend. Sinema was left out of the state's negotiations between Manchin and Schumer, though she played a large role in crafting the prescription reform bill that will be included in a budget reconciliation package, along with the tax and climate provisions. The good news is that Sinema has already expressed her support for setting a 15% corporate minimum tax for companies that earn more than $1 billion of profits, a centerpiece for the deal that will raise $313 billion. However, the question is whether she'll come to the agreement on the carried interest tax loophole that allows managers to pay only a 20% capital gains tax rate on income earned from managing profitable investments. Closing the loophole will raise an estimated $14 billion over 10 years. Sinema last year opposed changing it. A Democratic senator who attended the session noted that it is not unusual for Sinema to miss caucus meetings. A spokesperson for Sinema said that she's reviewing the text and will need to see what comes out of the parliamentarian process. Sinema has already left a mark on the bill by saying early during last year's negotiations that she would not support raising marginal tax rates for individuals or raising the corporate tax rate above its current level of 21%. Another key measure of inflation set a fresh 40-year high in June, a month marked by record high gas prices. The Personal Consumer Expenditures Price Index, which measures the change in the price of goods and services purchased by consumers, rose by 6.8% in June, as compared to the same period last year. According to data released by the Bureau of Economic Analysis, that surpasses the 40-year high of